Let's see, green, blue, red, gold, purple, violet, silver, white. 8-Bit Baits Crushed Rupees versus Lureworks Diamond Pearl. That is the comparison that we're going to do today. There is one in each of these colors, and having talked with Michael, the maker of Crushed Rupees, he told me that these Crushed Rupees act and you use them very similar to the Diamond Pearls. So I thought it would be fun to compare them head to head today. Diamond Pearl is a color enhancer. It's not really made to stand on its own, although there are ways that you can do that, which we'll explore today. Michael tells me that Crushed Rupees is the same. These are made to go into Plastisol, to enhance them, to tweak them. So we're going to look at this in 3 different ways per color today. The first of which is what it looks like in clear plastic. First up, we got green Crushed Rupees. Since I really want to see the effect, I'm going with 1/8 of a teaspoon for this half cup. That would be 1/4 teaspoon for a full cup, and that is a lot for this kind of material. There's some colors that we'll see here in a bit, especially like the red Diamond Pearl. Man, you got to go easy on that because it is crazy strong. That's what green Crushed Rupees looks like in clear plastic. I gotta say, that's pretty outstanding. Now let's do Diamond Pearl. Same deal, green, 1/8 of a teaspoon. So first impressions, the particle size on the Crushed Rupees does feel just a little bit bigger, maybe just a little bit flakier, if that makes sense. Yeah, the particle size is just a little bit smaller. Need to warm these up. They're already starting to cool off. Half cup really cools off quickly, which is going to be to our benefit, by the way, because I can tell you then how they reheat and if there's any erosion or degradation to the color. All right, we're back up. So Diamond Pearl, I know, really comes to life with just a little bit of black. If you don't want to add it to another color, but you really want the Diamond Pearl to kind of carry the load, all you got to do is add a drop or 2 of black, more if you want, but that really kind of brings out all the wonderfulness. I'm guessing that the same is true with Crushed Rupees. So we have seen it clear now. Let's add 1 drop of black, which would be equivalent to 2 drops of black if we were working with a full cup. All right, Crushed Rupees on the left, uno dropo of black, and there. Woo, yeah. Just a little bit of black in the background, and you get a beautiful result. I mean, impact, whatever you want to say. That's awesome. Now for the Diamond Pearl. Oh yeah. Smaller granules, as you can see, but just as good of an impact. So now, the third piece of our analysis today. We've seen it clear. We've seen it with a drop of black. Now I'm actually going to shoot it in the 5.3 inch, right? Yeah, 5.3 inch sleigh bait. It's a 2 cavity, so it's going to work out really well. And it's a big swim bait with lots of nice curves, which should do well to show us what these look like in a bait. All right, first up, Crushed Rupees. Got the 8-ounce into single injector here, more than enough for what we need to do. Shooting these as a solid bait, no hook slot. There we go. I'll swap injectors and do the same with Lureworks. Beautiful. All right, we are cooled off. Let's crack this guy open and see how they look in a big old swim bait. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. All right, so top one is Crushed Rupees. Bottom is Diamond Pearl. Let's go ahead and pull these guys out and give you a close-up look side by side. All right. Never mind the jacked up nose on the crushed rupees. I got impatient and I pulled out the sprue ahead of time. Shouldn't have done that. But anyway, we're looking at the colors, not my hog nose. Very, very similar. You can see, at least I see anyway, you guys tell me in the comments, 1/8 of a teaspoon of this, because the particle size appears to be smaller, you get a little bit more, I can see a little bit more saturation. Not a bad thing, just something different, right? Both are an outstanding green. If I'm really looking at the details, it looks like the crushed rupees gives you maybe just a little bit more variation in the sparkle. It's got a little bit more slightly different, different shades of green perhaps, almost like a bluish green sparkle in there every now and then, whereas the Lureworks Diamond Pearl really does carry green. Although, I don't know, as I'm looking at it, maybe I do see a little bit of blue in there. I don't know. I think they're both fantastic. I like the variation between the two. I think we're gonna find, at least for me, I'm glad I own both, because there's times when I want sort of a finer saturation like that look, and there's other times when I want a slightly larger particle size to give me this look. But either one of those, that is a winner. So let's move on to our second color, which would be blue. Second half cups are ready to go. Same thing, 1/8 of a teaspoon, first off, of crushed rupees. Oh, I do love blue. Man, I love blue. Blue and green, I always favor the natural colors in fish, and this is no exception. Woof. That is gorgeous. Wow. All right, now to the Diamond Pearl. Same thing, particle size is smaller. I don't know that that means you can't put the crushed rupees through like an airbrush. I know hollow shift you can. This you certainly could. As long as you have a 0.05 or 0.5 needle and nozzle, you probably get it through there just fine. Mike will be able to tell you better on the rupee side, but that's the Diamond Pearl. This one was always a favorite of mine. Love adding this to monkey milk, just as a little spike at the end. Woo! Let's keep going. Hurry up and add 1 drop of black to both before I have to heat these guys up. I should say, by the way, those swim baits were heated up again before I shot them, and both colors turned out fantastic. Both are holding up to the heat, to the reheats. And this one is looking dynamite once again. Just that 1 drop of black for a half cup. The same for our Diamond Pearl. Yep. Slightly more saturated just due to the smaller particle size, which I'm going to stop talking about because I keep saying it, but I don't know. It's my observation, so what are you gonna do? That looks pretty good. Let me shoot these in that same swim bait and I'll show you what they look like. Alright, let's check them out. Gorgeous, just like the others. Crushed rupees. Oh, give me better lighting. Hold on. There we go. Crushed rupees. Woo! And Diamond Pearl. Get them out here. Did not screw up the nose on either one of these because I practiced patience. Out of the mold, rupee, diamond. Very similar effect as the green. Just a little bit more spread out, a little bit more, I don't know. I can see almost some purplish with this blue on top. You guys see some of that? I mean, it's blue, but this one is just maybe a truer blue. I don't know. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just, again, making observations here. It's hard to choose between the two. I mean, I can see a time and a place to use both of them. Hopefully you guys agree. By the way, I am curious to hear your comments. Is there one that you prefer over the other? This was a good idea for me just to know how to use both because I own both and I plan to continue to use both. From there, we are moving on to red. plastic is ready to rock and roll. Keeping with our tradition, 1/8 of a teaspoon red crushed rupees. I will be very curious to see in the future, maybe not with this video because of how we're doing this, but how strong crushed rupees is compared to how strong diamond pearl red is, because I know for a fact that you got to go easy with this diamond pearl red. It will take over a bait in 2 seconds flat, because it's pretty strong. All right, there you go. Kind of get a flavor of each beside themselves. Beside themselves, wow, that made sense. You know what I'm trying to say. Each beside the other. Now a drop of black to set them off. Woo! Dang, that's nice. Okay, yeah. I'm even seeing like some orange reflection along with the red. That's nice. Oh yeah, just golly, I'm so used to this one. Man alive. I mean, look at that saturation. Goodness, and I almost see, I don't know if you guys can see it, I almost see like some purplish almost hues in there. Both very cool. And voila, rupees on the top as usual with diamond pearl on the bottom. Lighting is giving me all kinds of fits today, so I'm just going to pull these guys out, give you a closer look by hand. Sometimes it helps to get that reflection of the super shiny mold off. So here we go. Well, you can really see more of that orange that I was talking about. You can actually see it in both. There's like a orangish red reflection in both, but that crushed rupees especially, a lot of red and some of that orange offset. Pretty sweet stuff. There's Lureworks. I use this, I've used the bottom. I'm very curious to use the top rupees in watermelon red. It makes for a really cool variation of that color. All right, moving on to gold, I believe. Man, I just love gold. Gold is one of my favorite flakes to add. There's so many natural, I don't know, tones and whatnot that have a little bit of gold in them. So I'm pretty psyched to see both of these. Of course, I know what Lureworks looks like, but psyched to see this new one, how it compares. That looks pretty dynamite, I have to say. Wow. That is fantastic. On to the Lureworks. Gold even shows up better in like dark water around my area. I don't have much clean water, you know, pure. I mean, there's some that are highly translucent, really clean water, but most of my stuff is pretty dirty. So gold like that, yeah, that helps an awful lot. 1 drop of black per. Let's do the diamond pearl first this time, just to mix it up. That looked good on its own beforehand, but spike it with a little black. Gorgeous. I expect nothing less here. Oh yeah. So that's interesting. Just looking at these two in the cup, you can see the ruples are a little brighter, a little shinier, right? They have a little bit more reflection. That might just be, you know, because of, yeah, you guessed it, particle size. Swim bait time. All right, let's try opening this one down below, see if we can get this lighting to work with us a bit better. Okay. Looks like I switched them this time. So Lureworks is on the top, and no, the lighting sucks. There we go. Those molds are just too much for it. So back to crushed ruples, or rupees rather, on the top, and diamond pearl on the bottom. You can definitely tell the shinier aspect, right? Just a little bit more reflective in the rupees, with a little bit more, I don't know, subdued. I don't want to say dull because they're both shiny, but maybe a little bit more subdued on the diamond pearl side. Awesome colors though, both of them. Holy moly, I do love gold. From there, we're actually heading into new territory, because up to now, all of our comparisons have been, at least by name, the same. Green to green, red to red, gold to gold, etc. Now we're actually going to go where there might be a little bit more of a difference in the color itself. Our next color for crushed rupees is going to be purple, but the purple version of diamond pearl is violet. As has been the norm, we'll start with crushed rupees. Standard purple name. We'll see if it has a violet tint to it, or if it really does kind of hang with purple. And that does appear to be primarily purple. I see a little bit of blue, which violet has some more blue tendencies to it. But that I see overwhelmingly a very nice purple. Over to the violet. Now, I have used this one quite a few times, and two things come to mind. One, they probably, if memory serves, could be wrong, have a little bit more bluish tint to it, especially when you add it to other colors. You get more of that blue that comes out. I also remember this one not being very strong, whereas the red is like, you gotta watch yourself. This one, the diamond pearl, is very subtle, and you can add an awful lot to it, to a bait, without really overpowering it. I mean, even there, you can see in the cup, right? All that blank space there, and then the colors are on the edges. It's just not as powerful. Let's get a drop of black in both. That should help pull out some of those colors. Stir up the diamond pearl. Yeah. There's that bluish purple. I mean, it really is violet, right? It's a bluish, dark, it's kind of on the darker end. Got that blue tint throughout it. And this one, interesting. I'm actually seeing now more blue. It almost is a violet. I mean, I still see a lot of purple, and the purple in this versus the purple that's showing up here, much like the gold, is brighter. If I want as much purple as I can in an enhancement additive, I'm gonna go with this one versus this one. But both of those, I think, are killer. Can't wait to see them in a swim bait. Lighting's giving me fits today so much, I just skipped the mold. So here they are outside the mold. Crushed rupees on top, and diamond pearl on the bottom, just like always. I'm genuinely surprised. These are, color-wise, these are a lot closer to each other than I anticipated. Maybe the violet kind of deal is just standard for this type of like raw material. I don't know. You can see though how much more subtle the diamond pearl is. I mean, this one is, the rupees are much more noticeable, highly, or more reflective. This one is just more subtle, more subdued. So depending on what you're after, both of these would be good options. So on to our last color, and quite possibly the most interesting one. It is white diamond pearl versus crushed rupees silver. So I am very curious about this one, and rather excited, because I always wished that the diamond pearl white was actually a diamond pearl silver. That is our eighth of a teaspoon, rather, quarter teaspoon equivalent to a cup of crushed rupees silver. Ooh, dang. Yep, that's what I was hoping this was gonna be. Wow, that's fantastic. That alone in a swim bait belly, if you wanted a clear belly with just a lot of reflection, yowza. That's good. That is really good. Now let's see how diamond pearl white compares. There is silver attributes to it, so I always used it as a silver. even though it's called white. Maybe it needs to be called silver. I don't know. Let's find out what she looks like. That's pretty sweet. Let's see what these look like with a drop of black. Alright. Lureworks first. See now that, yeah, that really did bring out the silver. I mean, duh, right? The black with a white is going to be almost gray, smoky anyhow. So that definitely made it more of a kind of like an antique silver. But let's check out Ruples now. Oh yeah. Wow. Wow. You can really see a difference. This one is almost gray, which I guess is more of the white with the black. This one looks like smoke with silver. There you go, side by side. I have enjoyed this entire journey today. Hopefully you guys have as well. I've been excited to see every color, but this one has got me a little giddy. So I figured let's open it together, take our chances with the lighting. All right. Oh, baby. Oh. Yeah, that does not disappoint. Holy moly. Rupees on top and diamond pearl on the bottom. Goodness gracious, those look good. While I was waiting for them to cool, something hit me. You could use both of these in the same bait, much like you would use like medium flake and small flake, because you'd have the saturation and the extra fine coverage of the diamond pearl, and then you'd have the larger particle and the extra shininess of crushed rupees. That could be freaking amazing. Crushed rupees right there on top and diamond pearl. I mean, both of these are absolutely fantastic. You could put that on the top with a white belly and have just an unbelievable shad pattern. Maybe another drop of black just to kind of drive home the smoke. Put a little blue in this one. Oh, the mind just reels. These are fantastic. Both of them are. Takeaways for today. In general, more saturation on the finer side with Lureworks, but more spread out and higher reflectivity on the crushed rupees side. In almost every situation, every color, the crushed rupees definitely were more reflective. If you're looking for a subtle enhancement, then I would go with diamond pearl. Or, as I just mentioned, dude, just do both. Like, put half and half in, or mix and match. Goodness gracious me. The possibilities are truly endless. This was awesome, guys. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. Thanks for coming along for me on this comparison. And until the next time, I'll see you guys in the shop.